Hello and welcome to the Forest of Trials Readathon announcement. I am so happy that you're here. I'm so glad that you clicked on today's video because when I tell you that these readathons are literally my creative bread and butter, I have so much fun just designing these readathons, and when people actually participate and have fun, it's so inspiring and motivating to watch, and it really just spurs me on creatively. So let's get into the Forest of Trials Readathon, what it will entail. So before we get into anything else, this is a completely individualistic, non-competitive readathon running from November 1st to November 30th. There'll be no one monitoring your points. This will all just be dependent on you and your choices, and that's exactly how I wanted to design this readathon, to be completely based on how a person wants to explore it and navigate it. So that's the first thing. The second is I just want to explain the concept. So we are set in a forest, like the location of our readathon is a forest, and we are jumping from one location to the other, and this is how we'll sort of escape this forest. But this is completely inspired by the legend of Lord Ram and the myth of the Ramayana. So I'll come to the lore in a minute, but that's how this readathon is designed. So now let's get into the myth portion of the readathon. As I said, this is rooted in the legend of Ramayana, and everything is just inspired by that same myth. We have a king named King Dashrath. He was the king of Ayodhya, and he had 3 queens and 4 sons. His eldest son was Lord Ram. So his youngest wife, Queen Kaikeyi, had 2 boons from him for saving his life in battle, and she was kind of preserving these boons. But one day, in a fit of rage and a lot of political and personal reasons, she asked those 2 boons. The first boon was that his eldest son, King Dashrath's eldest son, Lord Ram, be exiled. To fulfill his father's vow, Lord Ram went into the forest with his wife, Lady Sita, and his brother Lakshman. So that's where we are set. We are set in the forest where they had the exile called the Panchavati Forest or the Dandak Forest. And even during this exile, they went to a lot of locations and places that are very significant in the Ramayana. And these are the locations that we'll be hopping to. So there are 2 paths that you can choose in this readathon. The first path is called the Trail of Blossoms. This path has way more locations, but it needs a fewer number of pages for you to location hop from one place to the other. These paths are fixed, so you can't jump from, say, location 1 to location 5. You'll actually have to follow the 1 2 3 4 5 6 pattern for all the paths. But once you escape the readathon and you read the prompts and fulfill the page count for the final location, then you can just go to any place you want in the Panchavati Forest and just have your fun with it. Then there are no rules and no restrictions for you. So first, let's explore the Trail of Blossoms path. So the first location and the last location is common for both the paths. The first location is the Panchavati Forest. It has 3 prompts associated with it. Just like all the locations, there are 3 prompts you can choose to read for any one of those prompts. You can't double up on the prompts, so you read for one of the 3 prompts for each location. You fulfill the page count needed to pass that location, and when that's done, you move on to the next location and so on. I really want to just explore the myth behind all the locations because I feel like that'll just make the readathon way more immersive and way more enjoyable for everyone, because we'll know the significance of each location and what it's inspired by. These path locations are not very accurate in the sense that this is not the exact path or trail that Lord Ram followed when he was in exile, and these are not the exact order in which he visited these locations, but just for convenience sake, this is how I have chosen to arrange them. The next location on the Trail of Blossoms path is Shabari's hut. Shabari was a very old lady, and she was waiting for Lord Ram's divine presence to just attain liberation and nirvana. So because Lord Ram is a incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who is part of the Holy Trinity, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, and he comes to the earth in a human body and human avatar whenever there's a very large force of evil, to vanquish the evil and just re-establish the empire of goodness. When Lord Ram came to her hut, Shabari just fed him some grapes and then moved on into the next life. So that's her story. Then the second location for you is Ahilya's redemption. Ahilya was basically a stone woman. She'd been turned into a stone by her husband, Saint Gautam, because of infidelity, and it was said that if a man of pure intent and pure heart came and touched her, then she would be freed. So Lord Ram came and he touched her feet, and she became a woman again. So again she was liberated. The third location for the Trail of Blossoms path is the Golden Deer. It's said that when Ravan wanted to kidnap Lady Sita, he sent a golden deer to distract them. The men with Lady Sita, Lord Ram and her brother-in-law Lakshman, they went out with their weapons to bring the golden deer to Sita and fulfill her wish, but in that while Ravan kidnapped Sita. The fourth location is Jatayu sacrifice. Jatayu was a divine bird, and when Ravan was carrying off Lady Sita in his flying chariot, he came to her rescue. He came to save her, but because of Ravan's superior weaponry, he could not win that battle and he was slain. So that is Jatayu sacrifice. So the next location on the Trail of Blossoms path is the Battle of Bali. This was fought between two monkey kings. There was a monkey king named Bali, and he was the king of this empire, but everything was usurped by his brother named Sugriv, and he held his wife as hostage. So when Lord Ram passed through this path, he helped Bali get his empire back, and in return Bali promised him his Vanar Sena or monkey army to help rescue Lady Sita. And then the common last location for both the paths is Ashoka Vatika. Ashoka Vatika is where Lady Sita spent her days during the time that she was in Ravan's Lanka or Ravan's empire. The Ashoka Vatika is a very revered location because it's seen as a symbolism of Lady Sita's purity, innocence, and just her fierceness, because she refused to spend her days in one of Ravan's rooms. Now let us explore the second path that you can take. This path is called the Crimson Path, and this is the path for you if you read like longer, chunkier books during the readathon, because this has fewer locations. It only has 4 locations that you need to pass, but you need a bigger page count to pass through them. So if you read very heavy or chunky books, then this will be very easy for you because you'll be able to cross the readathon in just 4 leaps. So again, the first location, the common location for everyone, is Panchavati Forest, which is where we are starting. Then the second location for the Crimson Path is Shurpankha's revenge. Shurpankha was Ravan's sister, and when she spotted Ram in the Panchavati Forest, she came to desire him, but he refused to commit infidelity or take any other wife except Sita. So in her rage, Shurpankha attacked Sita. So her brother-in-law Lakshman just cut off Shurpankha's nose. And the third location for the Crimson Path is Hanuman's Ocean Leap. Hanuman is regarded as the biggest devotee of Lord Ram. He said that if you tore his chest open, you would see Lord Ram, and he's just a symbol of unconditional love towards your deity and to the divine. Hanuman's Ocean Leap was when he jumped over an ocean from Lord Ram's location to the Ashoka Vatika to deliver Lord Ram's message of hope and courage to Lady Sita. So that's Hanuman's Ocean Leap. And the fourth location for the Crimson Trail path is again Ashoka Vatika, where you will complete the readathon and escape the readathon. And once you've done that, you can go to any place you want. No page count required, no prompts required. But while you're in the readathon, you have to follow the fixed pattern with the fixed prompts and fixed page count. So now that we've talked about the paths, let's talk about the side quests. These are just places you can visit if you need kind of a respite from the main path, and if you would just like to visit some side locations, or if you read a lot more pages than what the readathon requires, then you can just visit these little side locations and side quests and just have fun with it. You can visit these side quests at any point during the readathon. You don't need a particular page count to go to them, but when you reach the side quest, then you have to read for a particular prompt that is associated with the side quest, and you have to read a particular number of pages to finish your visit to that place. After that, you can just go back to the location where you were last and just continue on from there. There are some path hopping options between the Trail of Blossoms and the Crimson Path if you just want to, suppose, read a heavier book, or just if you want to switch off prompts, whatever the reason may be. The first location, if you want to switch from the Trail of Blossom's Path to the Crimson Path is a Helia's Redemption. So you have to complete the prompts for Helia's Redemption. You have to complete the page count, the prompts and everything, and then you can read a particular number of pages to go to Shurpankha's Revenge, then read the pages for Shurpankha's Revenge and move forward on the Crimson Path. All of these path hopping options and everything else, all the prompts are all mentioned in the Google Doc that I have attached below, so you can just have a read through that and just design your TBR accordingly or whatever it is you want to do. I think all the information about this readathon will be mentioned in the Google Docs. So if you just go through that, you will just have a complete idea of how to navigate the readathon. Of course, my Instagram is always open if you want to just chat about anything, or if you have any questions about the readathon, you will find it in the description below again. And there's a Discord server where you can chat with everyone else who's doing the readathon, ask for recommendations, talk about what path you're on, what prompts you're reading for, and just have fun. So I hope I've covered everything there was to say about the readathon. My main purpose behind making this video was just to explore the myth and tell you the significance of just every location and the myth, and how the idea came to me and my inspiration behind it, the story behind it. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that I see you in the Panchavati Forest in November. Bye bye.